You see, in this 2025, a lot of things have got to change in the way we relate as Africans. Yes, things that tear us apart, things that bring division, things that doesn't benefit us, are things we should leave in 2024. This is a new year. We can start afresh, right? If we are preaching Africa Rising, if we are preaching One Africa, there are things that we should not carry into this new year. I have said this over and over again, that any country on the continent of Africa that does something really, really nice, I will sit down here and give them their flowers. And if you do something not that pleasant, I'll still sit down here and bash you. Irrespective of the country, even if it's my country, Nigeria, I will sit down here and bash Nigeria. So that said, I want to give kudos to Rwanda, to Seychelles, Benin Republic, the Gambia, and most recently Ghana for the visa-free policy that they're doing to all Africans. Quite commendable, and quite frankly, this is what African leaders supposed to have done away with the borders a long time ago. The borders that the colonial masters brought to divide and rule has cost us nothing but pain, division, hatred, just problems. At this point, we shouldn't be talking about the borders, because even the people who introduced the border to us, they've done away with their borders a long time ago. The border is not serving any purpose anymore. If for nothing, it's creating problems for a lot of people. We can't even relate as Africans. We can't move freely on the continent, our motherland. We are supposed to have done away with this border a long time ago. Now they're also preaching about we are having one currency. I don't know how that is going to work, but we should just start putting policies in place that will strengthen our unity as a continent, and with that the continent will grow. Even the roads that want to, inter-country roads that will link countries together. These are the things we should be thinking about. These are the things that African leaders should be, thinking about. Things that all of us, that will bring benefit, bring glory, bring, development to all of us. You see, like I said, the colonial masters that brought the borders, they've done away with their borders a long time ago. Now, if you go to Europe, for instance, the 24 or 25 countries or so that are under Schengen, that's how they move freely. They move freely. You can go to Germany, you can go to Belgium, you can just move like that. You can just walk and enter another country just like that. They've done away with their borders a long time, and we were still holding on to our borders for what? Even us as Africans, if we're able to get Schengen visa, if you get a Schengen visa, you that is not even a European, you're an African. If you have a Schengen visa, your Schengen visa can take you to so many countries in Europe. And that's why the development in that region, in Europe, it's spread across, because they are all, the intertrade, interrelate, everything, the cultural exchange is just moving smoothly. And they are all benefiting. Africa, we are the one that is poor. We are the one that we don't have a lot of things. We are the one that is hungry, and we are creating borders. Meanwhile, that thing you're creating border for, your neighboring country might have in abundance, but you've created a border. Then for that thing to come to your country, the policies of that country will make it almost impossible for the country that has things in abundance to come to the other country that is lacking. We are just not doing ourselves any favor, because I don't know who benefits with these borders. I don't know who benefits. Now ask those who have toured Africa, Africans who have toured Africa. They will tell you how hard and how very discouraging it is to tour Africa. And then the Commonwealth is not spreading. Because when you think about the hassles, you think about the stress of going to these countries, you say, but let me stay in my country, I cannot. There are a lot of complaints when you want to travel to other countries, how the immigrations of those countries makes it very difficult for you to enter their country. They will tell you to bring this vaccination card, this vaccination card, that, bring this, bring that, bring this, bring that. Now, while I don't have a problem with you getting vaccinated before you go into these countries, because sometimes when you're vaccinated, you don't even know the outbreak of any disease in that country. You're protected, right? So I don't have a problem with it. You have to, if they say, yellow fever, get vaccinated before you go to some specific countries, it's okay, by all means, do it. But you see, the problem is by the time you finish doing it in your country, you generally take your vaccination card, either COVID or whatever it is. You get to the immigration of those countries, they will tell you that your card is fake. They will tell you that there's a problem with your card, that you should get a new card. And you see the funniest thing, now when you want to get a new card, they will make it almost impossible for you to get into their country. So because you're there, you don't have a choice. You want to now get a new card or whatever it is, and then they're charging you in dollars. I don't know why immigration of a lot of African countries, when it comes to Africans going to their country, when they see Africans, it's like an opportunity to extort. We treat ourselves like enemies, but then when we see the ones from outside of our continent, we treat them like gods. Why are we doing this to ourselves? Why? We should open up our borders. A lot of things have got to change in this year, 2025. We are preaching African rising. We are preaching one Africa. We have a lot of things now to sell to the world. The eyeballs of the world is on the continent of Africa. So we don't have to be seen as people who are not united. If not, they will still enter and do divide and rule and continue extorting some people. And, because let me tell you, when a home is divided, an outsider will come and inherit. That's it. So we are not all coming together to explore our own commonwealth. We are still leaving it open for outsiders to come. And then when they come, we will sit down and start crying foul that they are doing this, coming to take from us, they're going to do. Meanwhile, we don't even have our acts together. Our homes are not in order. Our leaders, I don't know whether they are benefiting from us being this divided. I don't know. A lot has got to change in this year. Take, for instance, it's cheaper to call, especially from Nigeria, it's cheaper to call United States. It's cheaper to call Canada. It's cheaper to call the UK and other than to call a fellow African country. The tariff to call African countries is so high, and I just don't understand it. I don't know why that is. Have you ever tried to call, let's say from Nigeria, you want to call, let's say Cameroon, or you want to call, let's say Democratic Republic of Congo? They will charge you like I don't know why. And we're all on the same continent. Now, talking about you wanting to tour those countries, to take a flight to those countries, like I'm talking about a trip that may not even cost up, that may not, the distance may not be up to let's say 2 hours. The amount to travel those countries is almost the amount you used to travel to the UK. Like, who are those in charge of all those things that are supposed to make our continent great? Why are we doing this to ourselves? Do we know what we are missing or what we are losing by being divided by the borders? Your borders can be open and you can still protect your country because there is a way the Schengen countries are doing it. Their borders are open, but they are still protected. Because I know that some people's fear is that by the time we leave our borders open, we don't know every Tom, Dick, and Harry will be coming to our country. Quite understood. That is a fair concern to have, right? But the truth is, if we are ready to do that, there are other measures in place that we'll put to checkmate these things. We will not say because of that fear and then the bigger benefit or the bigger glory that opening up the border will bring for us, then we will shut it out just because we are scared that some people would benefit. And in any case, if we open the borders and everybody is benefiting, you don't need to. I can be living in Nigeria and I'm working in Ghana because we have a good network system, a good train system to transport us to. That's why you can see somebody living in Belgium but working somewhere in Switzerland because they all can move. Or you can see somebody living in Belgium working in France. Like, we need to do better. Recently, Nigeria did one straight road, Nigeria and Cameroon. There's a road now that connects the country. Beautiful. Things like that are things we're supposed to, I think, connect from that Calabar area to Cameroon. Yes. Those are kind of the connection that we're supposed to be having. You see, there is a way we can protect our borders while our borders are still open for meaningful development and meaningful partnership. Yes, we can do it. It is possible. We don't have to just get scared that, oh, by the time we open up our borders, this will happen. For that reason, we just shut off our borders and then we're all languishing in poverty, famine, despair. Like, we stand to gain more if we open up our borders. Can you imagine? We just sit down here, we don't even know what is happening in the other countries just because we're all we're all blocking our border. And you see, and we're the ones that need each other. We need each other more. We don't have anything and we're closing now. What are we closing borders for? What are we closing? Yes, what are we closing? We don't have anything and we're closing our doors. Look at the other time that, like, how bad it is. There was something that happened in Nigeria that will close our borders. The West African countries on that side, that borders Nigeria on that side, suffered. A lot of them, things became very expensive for them because I think a lot of them buy things from Lagos to sell in their countries, like I think Ivory Coast, Ghana, and all of that. They buy things from Nigeria to sell. So when Nigeria placed some kind of embargo on the borders, I don't know what happened that period. It was a lot. Those countries have to start sending delegations to Nigeria so that we will open up. And I also want to believe that even Nigeria suffered too. Because if you close your door, nobody can come in. Your own people can't go out. The two countries, whoever is closing and whoever is not closing, both suffers, right? So closing our borders doesn't do anybody any good. It doesn't help for any meaningful development at all. Do you know what it is we'll be losing by closing our borders? Now let's talk about trade. We're supposed to be having easy trade exchange with these countries that we're all on the same continent. But you can't easily go and sell in other countries because of some kind of borderish policies in place. And do you know what we are losing? So what this country has in abundance, they can't sell to you easily, or they can't move freely easily to sell to you that is lacking in that. So by the time they want to come in, they want to smuggle their way into the country. So those things they're supposed to get cheaper because they can easily bring it to your country. But because people are smuggling it into your country, it will be expensive because it is scarce. We can do better as a country. I don't know what our leaders are doing. I don't know what they are talking about if they're not talking about how we can unite, how Africa can be united more. I don't know when they get to their AU meetings, their ECOWAS meetings. I don't know what they are talking about. It's about time. We should do away with these borders. It's not serving any good. We don't know what it served then. We don't know what it's serving now because if it served anything, those people who have removed their borders, who introduced border to us, they would remove theirs. And now they have removed theirs, we were still holding on to our own and being wicked at it. I don't know why when immigrations of these countries, when they see people, it's like see people from other African countries, it's like it's an opportunity that to extort, like they have sent their money has arrived. It's not even encouraging to come to visit to tour Africa. Meanwhile, there are some people who are in Africa, they've toured the world. They can tell you all the countries they've gone to in Europe, all the countries they've been to in America, but they will only tell you like one or two that they've been to in Africa. And not because they don't want to go to Africa, just because Africa has just made it so difficult for its citizens to tour the country. What are we bothering though? What is it that what are we holding on to that we can't let to the benefit, we can't let out for the benefit of everyone? Do you know a lot of cultural exchanges that we would have done, like known more about each other's country, and then make meaningful profit out by exchange of cultures and traditions? We're just losing so much. We are losing so much, and I don't know why in this 21st century borders are still closed. It's fair enough to think that, okay, maybe some countries don't have the mercenaries to check people who come into their countries and all of that. But you see, if the bad people still, if they want to still visit your country, they will. Whether your border is closed, your border is open, they will. You get? So all I'm just saying is that we have to reappraise this thing in this new year. Let us explore more. There's a lot of beautiful places in Africa that we can visit before even thinking about going to Europe and all of that. Let us explore those places. Let's share the commonwealth in our motherland. You see, now we all, I said earlier, the eyes of Africa is in the world now. Our fashion is booming, our music is booming, our entertainment in general is booming. Movies, call it skates, everything is booming. So you see, this is the right time for us to say, okay, get out the borders, get it off. This is the right time for us to come together and showcase. Uh, uh, Nigeria is out there, showcasing our music, our fashion. Afrobeat is doing good. South Africa is Amapiano and all of that. There are a lot of African music that people are not hearing. Africa is rich. Africa is blessed. Africa has enormous potential that is hiding, and we are not doing ourselves any justice by keeping our borders, because the more we close our borders, the more the light that is shining in a particular country that is supposed to beam into the next country or the other countries around will not go, because we are putting things borders in place. There was a time I traveled to that was in 2005. I traveled to Ghana by road. Do you know how many gendarmes that we saw on the road stopping? They want to check this. They want to check this. They want to check. Meanwhile, we did everything because it was me and some of my cousins that were going that year. So we did a lot. We checked. We just had to go to do the necessary papers and everything to make sure that we don't have problem. And still, they would stop us. And by the time they stop you, the person that will ask you, where is this paper? While you're answering that person, that one will go. Another, like, and you see some of them, we don't hear English and they don't hear, we don't hear French, they don't hear English. So it was so much, like the stress was so much to communicate. So we need to do better. The time to act is now. Africa rising. We can do it. So, like I said, congratulations to Ghana, congratulations to Rwanda, congratulations to the Gambia, congratulations to Benin Republic, Seychelles. You have, led the way. You've led the way for others to follow. So with this now, I hope that countries like Nigeria and other African countries will follow suit. So that is what I'm here to talk about. So let us do away with the borders and then continue to forge ahead with one Africa. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and let's build this channel together. Thank you and bye.